The biggest takeaway for me is harmony. When you look at the history of Europe, there's very few times where war has created something beautiful. Places like in China, war has created things that are beautiful. Like during the Warring States period, like Mr. Burrell would say, out of the muck, the lotus flower would blossom. And the lotus flower was the 100 schools of thought, including Confucianism and Taoism and all that stuff, where people were not focused in who was their leader and stuff like that. They were more focused in realizing why they live, why something is considered beautiful, why if you look at a flower you think that flower is beautiful, or when you look at a bird, when they say, oh, that bird is beautiful, or when you look at somebody's thoughts about life, you can say those people, that person's thoughts are beautiful. And this hasn't happened just once. This has happened several times where people would, like, if you were to think of a river, the river is the war, where everything is like, the water is not still. It's just constant waves after waves after waves. The ocean, and the people of China would irrigate some of that water into a small little pond, and they'd seclude that little pond from all that monstrosity and anger and energy, and they'd make that little pond, and they'd calm that pond together, that small little pond, and they'd make it so if they were to look down into the pond would reflect their own image, where they could understand themselves, where they could understand things around them, where they can understand the water and what is beneath the water as well. The dynasty before the Tang dynasty, the dynasty was completely corrupt. There was a lot of hunger, and these people, they joined together and they created the Bamboo Grove, where musicians and artists and poets would they would sit down together, they'd drink, they'd create art, literally create art. They'd make poems and music, and everything was like flourishing in there. And they wouldn't want anything to do with the government. They wouldn't retaliate. They wouldn't go back at the river and say, this is a bad river, river is bad. No, they irrigated some of that river. They irrigated the water and they created their little ponds. After that happened, everybody realized how beautiful that was. And then the Tang dynasty, the dynasty after that, incorporated all that art and literature, and that was a beautiful dynasty. After the Opium War, and after World War I and World War II, and after the civil wars and all that stuff, there's been great chaos. And I think that we just have to wait for that flower to emerge out of that muck. The water's kind of dying down, so we just gotta wait for our new Lao Tzu, our new Confucius.